Hello everyone, welcome back to The Boy That Loved. So I want to talk to you guys about Wandee Goodday. If you guys didn't know, I am reacting to that show on my Patreon exclusive. But I don't know for how long. I reacted to episode 1 through 4. I actually just finished episode 4. And I'm having like a intense response to the show. And I don't know how to actually feel, and I want you guys to help me gauge my feelings because I'm really losing my mind over this show. Now, the thing is, I was kind of like more indifferent, or kind of like, well, it ain't that great, but it ain't that bad for episode 1 and 2, right? Like the premise of the show is silly to me. The whole setup is silly, and it. If I was like 15, maybe I'd just be like, oh, this is great. It seems like a 15-year-old teen plot line if I've ever heard one. But the characters are grown. They're professionals, post college type of thing. They're doctors. And they're running dojos. They're grown, but their plot lines are giving very juvenile, which is an issue. But like it's fine. It's fine. You know, I get to episode 3, and I have a very negative response to the episode. If you see my reaction, you know what's up. I just felt like it was a bunch of nothing for a smooth 50 minutes. And what I mean is, like, let's start with that second couple. They do this thing. This happens a lot with GMTV shows. I guess Boys Love in general, I guess. They'll have, like, this whole secondary couple that's already, like, either they're not established or they are established. In this case, they are established. Kind of like in A Boss and a Babe, that other couple, where they have the characters just kind of be up under each other and flirt, and like that's their whole scene. And the scenes are like 5 to 8 minutes long, and sometimes there's multiple scenes of them doing that in the episode. I think they did it once per each time they did it per episode in A Boss and a Babe. In this show, that secondary couple gets 2 scenes, and it's just them just flirting and being like cutesy, and like, I'm not saying there's something wrong with the scenes per se. All I'm saying is there's no substance to it. Like, it's not like a storyline with these characters, and it's just them flirting, and like, it's just the optics of a boys love couple being a boys love couple. They're already together, already established. They're kissing, they're hugging, they're flirting, the banter back and forth. Sometimes I'll add in like sentimental lines, but there's no build up or payoff with that because there's no storyline in that. It's almost like you're watching a scene out of context and you're like, oh, that's so adorable, that's precious. But if you actually watch the show, you're like, oh, there's nothing that came before that or comes after that. And every time they have them together, they're just sitting there flirting. So it feels very hollow and not that entertaining, and a waste of time, in my opinion. And then you got our main couple, which there's this weird thing going on with them where they also just lay up with each other and they're flirting and talking. And it's the same thing as the secondary couple, but there's a bit more to it. But the thing that's weird about it is that they'll have like a certain part of the episode hyperly focus on something, and the thing they're focused on isn't even interesting or, like I said, juvenile. Like, I believe episode 3 is when he gave him that necklace, and then like all of a sudden that whole necklace thing, the necklace itself is so important. His doctor friend Drake's character noticed the necklace and he's like kicking about it, and then you have his dojo co-workers, whatever, noticing the necklace is gone, and they're like questioning him about, ooh, where your necklace at? Who you gave it to? All of a sudden, it's the focal point, and I'm like, okay, sure, that's the point of it. That's the whole thing. Having all these scenes and everything surrounding that one necklace for a chunk of the episode it's really weak. It's really weak, and I just can't find the joy, the interest, the whatever into it. And I understand that it is something for them to, I guess, focus on. I just don't know how much of a storyline that is, right? Now, it wasn't the biggest focus in the episode. They still had that, and they had the flirting scenes, yada yada. And then you get to, I'm guessing, the like scholarship plot. Like, we have like the doctors and nurses and all that good stuff in this hospital, like that thing happening. But like one with the scholarship, I don't know if I care that much or at all, because I was talking to people in my Discord about this whole scholarship thing, and like he wants the scholarship to spite old boy who rejected him. It makes him unlikable, but also it's kind of hard to really rally behind him when that's his reasoning for it. And I know when I was talking about it, somebody in my Discord was like, "Oh, it's a good opportunity for him." Okay, what I'm not comprehending is it's doesn't seem like that he cares about that good opportunity. Sure, him having the scholarship would be a great opportunity. Yes, sure. His character, what's going on, he is not in any way, shape, or form doing it for his benefit or whatever. He's doing it because he's trying to spite old boy, because he's mad because old boy rejected him. And he feels like he feels entitled to him and all these things. So he makes him unlikable, and it's kind of hard to rally behind him. So who cares if it's like one of those things where it's like, oh, it's good for him. That's not his reasoning for doing it. At least that's not conveyed yet. Or it might have been conveyed in episode 4, actually. Now I'm thinking about it. Maybe. I don't know. So that thing is not, to me, a strong narrative either, because the character's reasoning for and how much they don't focus on that at all. Like, they brought it up. They did. But then you have the whole other thing with the whole staff is like in their business. Oh boy, got rejected and he's mad about it. That's why he wants to do the scholarship. And then like the last half of the episode is him asking old boy to be his fake boyfriend. And I sat there, I was like, please don't tell me he's gonna say no and then they're gonna spend a good enough time trying to convince him to be the fake boyfriend. That's exactly what they did. That's exactly what happened. That last half of the episode 3 was not. That's all it was. Trying to convince old boy to be the fake boyfriend. I'm like, we know he's going to agree to this. Why are we doing all these things for him at the end to agree to be the fake boyfriend, doing stunts and shows at the hospital? Which, okay, great, but like, we spent all that time to get this point where we were going to get there relatively easy. It seemed like it took forever because it was half the episode, but like it was so easy for her to do it. And then the thing is, the follow up is like people think it's fake anyways. So you have a fake relationship that people think is fake. And like, how fake is it? You guys are busting down, spending time together, making food, hanging out, holding hands in public, doing the whole thing. Sure, it could be fake, but like y'all really do like each other, and y'all really are flirting, and like old boys things like I can't kiss anyone unless I love them. You almost kiss them like 3 times in episode 4, like, so you really, I don't know what the payoff is, what I'm looking for in this boys love relationship. Because they're already doing it. They're already booed up, hanging out, flirting, way nice to each other than they were in the beginning of the series. So I'm kind of like sitting here like, so what? And then you have, oh, hold on. You know another thing that pissed me off? And mostly because of my Discord. People's response to certain things make me feel more intensely about things than I probably should. Hold on, make sure my battery's not dying. Okay. The scene where he gets like drunk and the boys try to take advantage of him in the club. I think they spiked his drink, the doctor's drink, in the club. I'm sick of stuff like that. I just watched I Feel Linger in the Air. And some other shows have done this too, where they kind of have like stranger danger. People try to like sexually assault you, drug you, take advantage of you being drunk. And I'm like, I'm sick of seeing these queer folk, these non-playable NPC characters be used that way. Like, I'm so sick of seeing that. Like, I know the scene's supposed to be, I don't sometimes, okay, in Wandee Goodday's narrative, it's supposed to show our boxer guy saving old boy, and like that's supposed to, he's like Captain Save-A-Ho, and he's like, oh my god, he saved him from being assaulted and taken advantage of. Great. I don't know why you have to make queer folk come off this way. And someone in my Discord was like, oh, that does happen. Just because it's something that could happen, and it's a potential reality. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying the optics of having those scenarios where queer folk are drugging each other and trying to sexually assault each other in 5 different shows is a problem. That is the point I'm making. That is an issue. It's not like, oh, I'm a rock with it because that happens. How often does that happen though? So what you're telling me is if someone just assumed you were someone who, if someone, because the thing is, if someone watched these shows and this is their only foray into queer people and seeing that thing, and they come up to you assuming you drug and rape people, are you gonna be cool with that? Are you gonna be like, oh, it happens all the time? If someone assumed that was you because they seen it on this TV show, on 5 different TV shows, these boys love series, you see what I mean? That's the point I'm making. And it's so disgusting to see these scenarios happen all the time, especially when the characters are not getting their comeuppance. Yeah, they might get beat up or like whatever, but they're not main characters. They're not part of the plot lines. It's just a plot device and not a strong one because these aren't, like I said, they're NPC characters. I mean, we haven't seen those characters since that episode, so like I don't know. There's nothing. There's no moral lesson or no comeuppance really. I mean, they got beat up a little bit, but like it's still, yeah, it don't sit right with my spirit, and I don't like that kind of stuff. But anyways, episode 4. This episode, because I really hated episode 3, a waste of time. But episode 4 did similar stuff, but they have Pod's character in this show feeling jealous and feeling a ways and remembering things differently. And I'm like, why can't he not like this boy like he said in the beginning? Now all of a sudden he's feeling a ways, he's missing him and feeling jealous, and then questioning that boy's relationship, telling his friend like, oh, isn't it too soon for him to like bounce to someone else even though he just confessed to me? The writers did not need to have that scenario in there. They want to make Pod's character antagonistic to give our main character like a reason to kind of be combative, but like it's too weak and too crazy because Pod's character spent the whole episode just being jealous and looking weird, like I feel a ways because old boy's not giving me my food anymore. Like he used to leave me my food and notes. I also think his relationship was fake, or he moved on too fast. Like his whole character was doing all that, which makes him antagonistic beyond just wanting that scholarship. And it's like a romantic rivalry type of thing. And like to me, like I said, I think it's all pretty weak as far as an interesting narrative. It's a little too bloated with that, you know. And then in the episode itself, everybody's jealous. So we got Pod feeling jealous. Oh boy, the boxer guy. I forgot everyone's name. The boxer guy. He is fake dating. Oh boy, the doctor, but he's also in love with his homegirl, and he's asking the doctor to help him. And the doctor's like, okay, I'll help you, but also he's feeling jealous because they like each other. So like it's like weird. Like it's weird. So he's like helping him, coaching him. They almost kissing, but like to help him with old girl, which is weird because he don't know old girl like that at all. But he's gonna help him woo her without even knowing who she is. And the thing is, the show ain't really interested in telling us who she is. Like I remember the first episode, or the first time he was talking to her, he was like, "Oh my God, you're so strong and you're so amazing." I'm like, thanks for telling us that she's all these things. But there's nothing to make us feel like she is all those things. She has no storyline of her own, really. I mean, I guess she's dating one of the twins, AJ, JJ. I think it's AJ she's dating, or kind of dating. I don't know, but it's a jealous cycle. Now he's jealous of that she is into potentially AJ. She noticed that old boy is wearing the boxer's necklace too. The necklace came back again, and she's like, "Oh, I peeped it." But I don't know how she feels. I don't think she feels a ways, but she noticed it. Like, oh, okay, now go off. But then you have like the boxer guy also jealous of Pod because old boy is like so obsessed with him showing off to Pod and making him jealous, and he's viewing my story, and I'm like, this is so stupid. This is so this is like middle school almost, and I'm just losing my mind because I'm not enjoying. It's so bloated with a bunch of crap. Like I said, we have the second couple flirting scenes that happen. Sure, it's cute, could be funny, precious. There's no story there. They're not doing anything but flirting with each other and hanging out. There's nothing going on. And even the show giving us like episodic like storylines, like we had like the doctor, like the son that lady and her son, like he was like sick and the doctor was like broke the news to her and she was so sad. Like in a vacuum, that sounds like a great plot for like an episodic Grey's Anatomy type of thing, which they could do that. Why not have like episodic storylines, like stuff at the dojo or stuff at the hospital, and then have like all this other crap in between? The budding romance, give us a storyline, a plot A per episode, and the plot B is our budding romance, and make the whole episode about the patients. Make the whole episode about the clients at the dojo. Each episode, so we have something to do most of the time that's different as a storyline. We can have moral lessons happening. Like I said, like Grey's Anatomy. Like you watch these shows, these procedural type of dramas, and there's different plots per episode, like main plot, B plot, C plot, like the whole thing. This show could do that, but instead they just have the characters kind of be up under each other, and it's such a disappointment. Now I know this is the director from The Eclipse. I do not like The Eclipse. It suffers from the same issues as this. Only the main difference is The Eclipse had lots of potential. Like they really actually had a storyline and plot. They just kind of halted it to have these two boys flirt and like, or they repeat stuff like the whole like, I don't get into it, but they repeated storylines or repeated plot points over and over again. We did the same thing several times in Eclipse. This show suffers from the same thing. We're just doing the same thing we did every other episode. Nothing new, nothing different. And I'm just wondering, how do you guys feel? Because people in my Discord were telling me, they told me, oh, Wandee Goodday is just for the vibes and the aesthetics. And I was like, just attractive young actors, booed up, kissing, busting down, vibing out, and hanging out. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what's happening. And I just really wish I didn't expect more or want more from it. Like I kind of just want to watch it and with that mindset, but it's hard for me to fall in line with that. Like I remember like remembering people praising, because here's the praise of like a Boss and a Babe was like, oh, you don't have to really watch it. It's just vibes and like it's more lighthearted compared to other series that are running. And this show, someone was like, oh, it's more lighthearted and kind of easy watch, nothing really happening compared to My Stand-In, which is, I guess, alternatively more messier than this show is. And I was like, I don't know if that gives it points or gives it a reason to like really praise it, because ain't nothing really going on. You know what I mean? Those things are negative in my opinion. It's not worth watching. Based on what I'm trying to tell y'all, like it's not worth watching. And that's why I was kind of like, I don't know if I should continue episode 5 and beyond. And I'm curious about because my YouTube peers are watching the show too, and I'm seeing the thumbnails. Like I just saw one of my YouTube friends just post episode 3 with a thumbnail, and like it's like, and I'm like, I can't imagine that, because episode 3 was so goddamn boring, so boring. I think episode 4 had a little bit more to it, but like episode 3, Lord have mercy, nothing. Oh my god, it was so a hollow narrative, just chilling like a villain, rah rah rah. Man, oh man, I was really going through it. But let me know your thoughts below. Am I tripping? I know I'm not tripping. I stand by what I said in this whole video. I just need you guys to give me your thoughts and opinions on this. How do you feel? Am I missing? Because like I said, I feel like everything is weak story points, weak plot points, weak scenes. Like it's just nothing of substance really here. No like I could care less about the scholarship. I know like I think the dojo's like missing money, and even when they had like that fighting scene the whole fight scene, I could not care less. There was no setup, no payoff, and like, oh, the boxer guy, they flash back to his mom passing away and like him having nightmares and old boy cuddling with him, and I'm like, you're pulling on our heartstrings with this, but there's no, like I said, there's no setup and payoff, right? It's not like that's maybe it is. I'm like, it's not an integral part of his character, but it kind of is. But it's almost like shock value for shock value. You're supposed to care because it's something shocking, but they didn't really, like I said, set it up, really nurture it in a narrative way to pay off. Because like it's also weak, also weak. But anyways, let me know your thoughts below on this, and I guess I'll see y'all in the next video. Oh, also, I am watching Boyscation on Patreon, so subscribe to watch that with me. Okay.